Now, as investigators continue to search for a motive, they say Alexis was preoccupied with the September 11th attacks and may have worked near the World Trade Center, and how he often talked about how it disturbed him. Relatives and those looking for a motive say that might be among a number of mental health problems Alexis struggled with for years. A Beaumont police sergeant who helped first responders after 9/11 spoke with Fox 4's Leslie Rangel about that life-changing event and its impact on mental health.
In the process that we've come to learn so much about.
Beaumont Police Sergeant Rob Flores is using his computer to take a closer look at the naval base shooting.
It's like pow, pow, pow.
He's trying to figure out why this man opened fire, according to investigators, and killed a dozen people.
There is a link between every one of these massacres you're hearing about, and that is there's been a mental health issue.
Relatives say Alexis suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder after they say he helped first responders following the 9/11 attacks. But investigators can't find any evidence at this point Alexis took part in rescue operations. Sergeant Flores was at Ground Zero to help after the attacks.
And we also did peer support and one-on-one for officers who were working 12-hour shifts at the landfill where they were sifting through all the debris.
Work, he says, will leave lifelong scars among first responders.
This is no excuse for what occurred, but if this man had a PTSD type diagnosis, I'm sure there were other illnesses that he was dealing with. There was comorbidities, not just PTSD, which is an anxiety disorder.
While this suspected gunman's motive isn't clear, Flores says there's no doubt about the lack of resources to help people like him.
How are we identifying people who have mental illnesses? How are we giving them the help that they need to prevent these type of very rare tragedies? But if they occur, one is too many.
Sandy Hook, Aurora, Colorado, Fort Hood, Texas, and now Washington, D.C. What Rob Flores says is a cry for help.
If you don't treat a physical illness like heart disease or cancer, then you're going to die. Okay? If you don't treat the problems with mental illness, then people are at risk of dying. More than likely, you're at risk of dying.
In Beaumont, Leslie Rangel, Fox 4 News.
Sergeant Flores went on to say it's important to seek help if you believe you or a loved one might be suffering from a mental illness. Flores says he stays in touch with first responders who helped after the September 11th attacks.